What's up, party people? Happy Monday. I had my best day trade to date today, so that was a fun way to kick off the week. I risked 2.5 hours on a trade and actually banked 24 hours off of it, so that was exciting. I did have a couple losers today. Two of them were like normal. They understand why they didn't work out. Didn't work out. The third one was just poorly managed, honestly, just terribly managed. But we can talk about that. In this recap. This morning, let's talk about the SPY really quick. So this morning, with the SPY, what I noticed here is, let me get my pen out. We're between two weekly levels, and I've talked about this a lot lately. It's been happening quite often. I mean, it happens more often than not. It's more unlikely that you're going to open exactly at like a weekly level. You're more likely to open like near it, right? And then you can take your plays once it gets to that level. But we opened over here, and we're sitting in between these. Down here is actually S4 on the pivots, and up here is R3 on the pivots. So, we had two really good pivots paired with these weekly range levels. And let me just show you where I got those levels really quick. So if I go over to this chart here, we've got the top one is the very tippy top of this little move up here, right? So once we break that, and if we hold, there's not a lot more resistance to the top side after that. When we get up here, sure, I guess there'll be something. But at least for, intraday wise, there's going to be some decent room to go after that level. And then the other one, the bottom one, is this right here. So just kind of like this little area here. So yeah, I was, probably a little bit more impatient than I should have been, but that's okay. All right, so let's just get into it. I digress. The first one we'll talk about is AMAT. So AMAT on the weekly looks like this. I like this range here on it. I was thinking, if we get up to the top of this level here, I'd be interested in taking something here. And what I did instead was I tried to do what I shouldn't do, and I took a trade to the level, or tried to take a trade to the level. So if I put actually my pivots on here, you can see that S3 is down here and my level's way up here. It's like near 140. And there was also a really big ask at 140. So I was thinking, if I'm already thinking about that the stock's gonna go up there, then maybe I'll take a trade to the level. And that just more often than not bites me in the butt. So, this started to happen here, obviously after I got in. And then we had some White House news, and unfortunately we sold off before we turned around and pushed up. And I didn't catch this because I was in Netflix. But yeah, just a little 1 hour loss on this guy. No big deal. On to the next. So Netflix. This was my big winner today, but I did play it a couple times before I got the home run on it. So what I like on this is I like this range here, and I've been watching this for a while. I've played it a couple times. I like this, and in the morning, we're sitting pretty close to that. We're a little bit above it, and if I take it to the daily, and I zoom into the daily, you can see all these wicks that have been thrown here. So there's like a ton of wicks, right? Just like all across here. So I'm thinking, if we hold this level, then, that's, pretty good, move and support to, bounce off of. But what I was thinking was we've thrown all these wicks already. There's a chance that like we wouldn't get down there this morning. So like right under here, this opening price here on this candle right here, you're able to touch all the wicks there. And I thought, okay, well, where's that sitting? It's sitting like right above S3. So here is, I know I've got quite a bit of lines on this because I was drawing them out for partial taking and range holding and stuff like that. But you can see that this is actually that level off of the daily, and it's right where S3 is sitting. So I was thinking, I didn't know because of all those wicks if we would actually get all the way down to S4. So I did take an early entry here thinking this would be the bounce area just because of all those wicks. Unfortunately, I got stopped out for a 1 hour loss. And then I did catch it here. But unfortunately, this one was poorly managed. So I saw a huge ask up at 380. I thought this was going to be the run. And I held. And when we got up here, actually, value was sitting up here. And that was my number one mistake here. Value was sitting up here, and I should have partialed and just held for break even. But when it pulled back, I added a couple times, and then I just moved my stop loss up a bit and got stopped out here. So I did take a little bit of a loss there, but once I saw it holding here, I decided to go again. And let me show you why this one worked out, at least why I think it worked out. Let me bring over the SPY really quick. So my level is here, right? And I just realized I didn't have my cursor highlighter on. Sorry, guys. Hopefully you can find my mouse without my drawing. So that entry on Netflix happened right here. So here's the thing. Every time I get into a trade and the SPY isn't at a level, well, I don't want to say every time because sometimes it works out, but I was trading when the SPY was here, and that just doesn't work as far as like, I don't know, risk wise, it's not the safest place to enter, right? Like maybe the SPY sets a range and then you can enter into the stock that you want to enter into when it breaks the top of the range or the bottom of the range. But these levels are like really key. So if you see the SPY at like a key level or a key pivot, and your stock is also at a key level or a place that you want to take the trade, the likelihood of it to turn out in your favor is much more likely. At least that's what I found. So as you can see today on Netflix, the ones that I took first were here, and the final one that I took was here. So we'll go back over to that. And Netflix. Yeah, so I felt pretty confident in this level, especially with all those wicks, right? I just knew that like I just needed to time it correctly in here, and I could have added and like not let myself get stopped out, kept my stop loss, down here or whatever, and I would have been fine too. But just risk wise, the SPY was still pushing down and stuff, and I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna get out of this and I'm gonna like let it try to set up again because we could have just totally flushed to this level right before we came back up and then like reclaimed it. So I just kind of like watched this and watched what the market was doing. But yeah, so I went in here. I actually went in with 2.5 hour risk because I felt pretty confident in this level. I knew that if we lost it, this just wasn't going to work out. And then I held up for the previous value area, right? I knew that that would show some resistance. It doesn't really show value sitting here now, at least at the zoomed in that I'm, at least at the, what do I want to say? The like zoomed in dimension or something. I don't know what I'm saying. Anyways, it didn't work. It's not, you can't see it right now, but I was like, I'm going to make sure I take it at value this time, which I should have done over here. And I took a partial here. I knew we would get some sort of a pullback. But the SPY was still kind of pushing. It consolidated for a while. I knew that as long as the SPY was still not hitting any sort of resistance area, that I would be okay. So I just kept going. I took a little bit off right before previous day, or right around previous day open and previous day high. And then we got the next push up. I was holding for 380 because of that ask that I saw this morning, but we got up to 390 here and just couldn't quite get there. And when we started to roll over here, I was like, you know what? I've been in this for a really long time. We're close enough. I'm just going to get out of this. So yeah, it ended up being a really great trade. In the end, sometimes you start with a red day and it turns into a green day, your best green day that you've ever had. So that's pretty great. So it just shows that like, sometimes you just have to wait for your levels and you have to wait for your setup. And if you are red for the day and you're not at max loss, take a break, wait for those levels to come back or to appear, wait for your setup to appear, because if you wait for your setup, there's a pretty good chance you're going to be able to get yourself out of a hole. Not always, but give it time to set up and allow you the opportunity. So anyways, I hope you guys had a good day and I will catch you tomorrow. Peace.